Shalom, Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to Lek out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. All right, now I want to get into a lesson entitled "In Remembrance." Just based upon things that the Lord has, put us through as a nation. Things we go through daily, constantly fighting this fight, constantly fighting this battle, going through, the everyday stages of Babylon, which is nothing more than a big blur to us, you know what I'm saying? Like half the days, I'm sure brothers know the feeling, you know what I'm saying? Of just like every day in Babylon, man, is just like, another day of this bullshit that we out here. We got to, deal with the things at hand. We in, very exciting times, but at the same time it's like one big blur, so this is the book of Lamentations 3, and I want to start at verse 14. It says, I was a derision to all my people, and their song all the day. He hath filled me with bitterness, he hath made me drunken with wormwood. And when we look at our lives as prophets, we know that the people who don't take us serious, that's what the scriptures talks about, the word being as a song unto the people. They will hear the words of the Lord, but they won't do them, and how the Lord have set forth the apostles last, to bring out this word, because we're the last thing that's moving. Everything that's been before us has been just movements of so-called black people rising and so on and so forth. But those movements didn't have the power behind them, in which people actually want them to be blocked, because they're not backed by the Lord. What we're doing is wholly backed by the Lord, because this is the Lord's play. This is the Lord's move. This is what we're doing. It's all in the spirit and in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and that bitterness and, us being drunken, obviously we know, the bitterness coming with the everyday lives of, us being endowed with this great knowledge that we have from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And it's like, brothers be so zealous for the word. You just want to instill the word into people. But hey, we know we only have to worry about the ones that think like us, the ones who the Lord opened their eyes up just like us, as it gets into in the book of Second Ezra. Let me get that, because we know that we can't truly worry about everybody, so there's the book of Second Ezra, 8, and I start at verse 50, and it says, for many great miseries shall be done to them. Matter of fact, let me actually back up. Let me go to verse 47. It says, for thou comest far short, that thou shouldest be able to love thy creature more than I. But I have oft times drawn nigh unto thee, and unto it, but never to the unrighteous. So, basically it was like, hey, you far short. You can't love, the people more than what the Lord loved the people, because he created everyone. He created our people. Ezra's, just like many of the prophets of old, we had a deep love for our people, because what? That's only right. You know what I'm saying? We want to see our people prosper. We want to see our people in the right mind frame. We want to see our people able-bodied. But that can't happen within the society, because we know that the prophecies got to play out. But until then, and in general, our people is going to be filled with that drunkenness, with that bitterness, of the ways of the world, the philosophies of this world, of the so-called white man, So verse 48, it says, in this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, and that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. So this is why everybody is going to be, the majority of our people are going to be destroyed. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. They have walked in great pride to the point where they don't want to wake up from the things in which we tell them. They don't want to wake up from this bliss state that America has placed them in. To them, ignorance is bliss. But to us, ignorance is death, because that's all it's going to lead to. The ignorance of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and the ignorance of why we're in these conditions, the ignorance of how we are able to get out of these situations is going to bring about the death of our people. It's bringing about the death of this world. So, verse 51, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like unto thee. So at the end of the day, this is what we truly worry about. We can't worry about everybody, okay? Because, hey, as I believe the lyric with Nipsey Hussle said, it's a small circle. Everybody can't go. We know in this thing of ours, everybody isn't called. I mean, everybody isn't chosen. And we're called to do this work, but we're hope ultimately that we're chosen. By going through this bitterness, by going through the afflictions, by suffering for righteousness' sake, for having a zeal for the Lord in which we have, So going back to Lamentations, I forget what verse I was at, but Lamentations 3 and Lamentations 3:15. He hath filled me with bitterness, he hath made me drunken with wormwood. He have also broken my teeth with gravel stones, he hath covered me with ashes. And thou hast removed my soul far off from peace. I forget prosperity. Because the scriptures say, in the times of prosperity, there's forgiveness of affliction. In times of affliction, there's a forgiveness of prosperity. So this is what it's like for our people. This is why when our people get $1 or two, they feeling like they something, they want to do this, they want to do that, and then you right back broke again. Our people don't have a foresight for the future. The scriptures also say, where no vision is, there the people faileth. But we have the vision. We have the vision of things greater than what our people can see, because all they see and all they look up to is a so-called white man and his riches within society. But we look well beyond that. We looking toward the kingdom. That's what we're preparing for. Knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of our times. For us, that's going to carry us through to make it through, So, verse 18, and I said, my strength and my hope is purged from the Lord. Remember mine affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall. My soul have them still in remembrance and is humbled in me, right? And this is the main point, that as we go along, every man has their certain responsibilities that they have. As far as you being a man in general, we have certain responsibilities that we have to the Lord and to your particular body part or your brotherhood in which you are attached to. Every man has a certain level of responsibility, that we are to live up to, and with all of these things comes a great remembrance of our affliction, a great remembrance of our bondage, according to Esau, our bondage, us being in chains, underneath Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which is in righteousness, which is a good bondage. But we're constantly remembered of this, and that we have to constantly suffer still for righteousness' sake. The Lord gives us our times where, okay, you're a little all right for a minute, and, we go through them seasons where, hey, you catching more hell than others, and that's all a part of it. But we know, in essence, what we're suffering for. And always having that bitterness within mind, having that hatred for the society, having the disdain for the things of this world, knowing how to use this world and not abuse this world to go along, we still constantly filled with the remembrance of the affliction, of the bitterness that we go through on the daily, of the affliction and of the bitterness that the so-called white man has caused to our people, the trauma that he has caused to our people mentally, that our people can't get out of this funk in which they're in. And then we know that, hey, unto the gathering of Shiloh shall the people come. And that's the only way that our people is going to be right on a whole. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I know as far as me. That's what keeps me, humble to a degree, and keeps me instead in how we all should be, always remembering the affliction, always keeping that, not a depressive type of mind state, but you want to be in a mind state to where you having that keen balance, and at the end of the day, you always having that disdain, on your tongue, on your mental, for everything within this world, and knowing that all of this shit is going to be brought to ashes very, very soon, man. You know, and verse 21, it said, this I recall to mind, therefore have I hope. So keeping that bitterness within you for this world and for the things of this world, the blurs of this world, the nonsense of this world, but at the same time, you have that balance with the things that keep you in check, to know that, yo, we got something much greater. Even though I'm going through this now, we got something much greater. Keeping that fire and that desire in you, you know what I'm saying, and staying hungry. You know how they say, like, with people that box or with any profession, when you first coming in, you usually at your best, because what, you come through the struggle, you come through the trenches, you come through the mud. That's what it is for us. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand the trenches more than the prophets, man. When we look at what Isaiah walked the earth, was that what I believe Isaiah 20, walking, the Lord had him walking barefoot and naked for a couple amount of years. All the Lord taking Ezekiel's wife from him. You know what I'm saying? The Lord doing so much to the prophets of old, and us knowing that we have so much to bear for the burden that we care and bearing our cross, as our big brother Yahweh Shai did, man. You know, it's so much that's entailed within that, man. But this is what we recall to mind, and it keeps up within hope. That verse 22, it is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him, man. And this is what it's all about. Verse 25, the Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord, man. And this is what we're doing. We're hoping patiently, you know, and waiting upon the Lord, for the Lord to return justice unto our people by destroying this society and everything within the society, and bringing us to that glorious state in which we supposed to be in which we so desperately desire, you know, and giving the Lord his proper just due, you know, as him being the supreme ruler of this world, man. You know, so, you know, it's just a daily thing that, you know, daily things that we have to constantly meditate on, you know, to keep our minds fresh, you know, to keep our minds and our eyes on the prize, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And to keep us in line with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, man, you know. So, you know, with that, you know, I hope this segment was edifying. And I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakwadash, double wonders to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to Lek out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Shalom.